Hey there everyone, this is Lagaard. Welcome back to my playthrough of Etrian Odyssey 2 Untold the Faster Night. Today we are going to continue exploring the first floor after turning in the mission. Probably only that. I'm going to be trying to keep these between 20 and 30 so that they're not too long and overbearing on a person's day. So, being left on 10 money was actually a little bit deliberate because healing off after leveling up is more expensive. You may want to get in the habit of making sure you rest your characters before you go and complete your missions and quests.
Do you understand?
Alright, I'm glad you expect such great things from us.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I mean by you get all your money back after you spend it. It also guarantees to get you from level 2 to level 3, and if you're at level 3, I don't think it gives quite enough to get to 4. Alright.
Is there anything further I can do?
We're gonna have 2 skill points lying around after that happens. Now I'll need to be careful about rationing this to level 5, because once you get something to level 5, the TP cost exponentially is tripled, so we're gonna start working towards Tornado now. But it's nice to have a strong single target skill on that, so I'm happy with it so far. For the Sword Mastery, we're gonna start dabbling into Snake Eyes, one of the more important debuffs on this character. Snake Eyes lowers the defense for 3 turns, and it's really good if their minded are elemented, and that happens all the time as it turns out. So that makes this one of the stronger debuffs in the game, which is why the Hexer is a little bit unnecessary for the team. Got the Medic. We can get Staff Mastery to 4, that's probably fine. I do think we should be working towards Refresh and Unbind though, as we are going to start running into elements on the regular, and it'll be nice and Heal Mastery by itself usually gets Cure to do its job, so we'll work on that first, and then we'll start deterring back down to Staff Mastery for more TP. Flora should be getting more TP up, no exception. And once she gets to level 10, we're basically going to be golden. For very good reasons. That's about when the Grimoire system will become available to us. More on that later when it does become available to us. We do want Drop Shot now. Drop Shot is probably one of the better early offensive skills you can get. It's slightly expensive, but for good reason. Alright, so now we're done
I await your
leveling up the
triumphant
characters. There is benefits to being a citizen. If you go to trading, Abigail will tell you all about it.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Right, so now she sells the Ariadne Fed. This allows you to get out of the dungeon at any time. Buy one.
Here you go.
Always have at least one on you at all times. It eats up a little bit of your money supply early in the game, but later on, it's godsend.
Oh, of course.
Such a small price for a godsend. It's really nice. It allows you to prolong your stays, because you don't have to worry about getting back to the entrance.
Take good care of them.
Okay, we're gonna get some new equipment. Alright, so I do value defense. We're gonna grab a leather hat for Linda, just so that she isn't nearly as frail as she is. Like, 8 vitality and you go down to 7 vitality. Vitality is a fairly important stat for determining how defense works on a character, so she's a little bit frailer, so she needs the defense a little bit more. I guess I'm going to stack the green leaf just on top of that, because she's so frail. Makes a lot of what we earned
Of course.
being just equipment for one person.
Take good care of them.
It's fine. It's fine, really. Then, for the last... Oh, I have no money. Okay, that's right.
Thank you.
So we'll ignore that. I forgot that accessories in this game cost 500 and not 200. Let's go over to the... Any place else? No, not really. That we need... No, there's nowhere else we really need to go, so we can just go right back to the labyrinth and continue exploring for the day. Probably won't be doing any more town functions. Alright, so let's explore the rest of the first floor, at least what we're able to reach at this time. There is more to the first floor. In fact, I did miss a shortcut over here last time, but, you know, it's not complicated. There's more to this floor, but the introductory area is very small and simplistic. And we're going to be covering that introductory area this time. Alright, so nothing really new happens here. We do run into, like, other Fury Horns or Ragelopes or whatever you wish to call them. More dead ends, more events. Just explore the maze and try to figure out what you're doing. We should also start running into some more dangerous enemy sets now that we're on the west side. It's not as newbie protected. So, yeah, this is the same set we ran into in the upper right corner. Gandra suffered minor scratching, but that's fine. Alright, nothing here. Let's just keep pressing forward. And that's the main thing I'm going to say when I'm not quite sure how to describe going through corridors like this. I've got a double foe. That's pretty curious. I almost forgot to mark down the foe original positions, which would be there, there, and there. Just good stuff to know. Alright, and then there's two Fury Horns that go around this little circular bend. It does have a top end, which we're probably going to want to go through, and otherwise they just... Right, something like that, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted in my own map making. Anyhow, we're going to go over here and witness an event, I'm fairly sure. No, yeah, event. This is the Hedgehog event. We're going to be running into quite a few of these. Spines of its back seem caught in the roots, preventing it from escaping. The monster usually attacks you on sight, but this is not. Even though you can render it aid, feel indebted to you, it may even attack out of instinct. You must possibly... Okay, we will help it. We're gonna help it every single time we find it, and it's going to be great. Alright, Gandra. Oops, that was a mistake. Supposedly. Alright, so this hedgehog is going to be our best friend for the next, 4 floors, 5 floors? He's a great guy. Do note his presence, but he isn't a permanent event. And try to keep an eye out for him every floor, and if you don't find him on a floor, just try re-exploring the floor and trying to find him. He does have worthwhile rewards at the end of his, well, shenanigans. Right? More simple deer puzzles. The game isn't going to try to be complicated with foes right off the bat. This is only the first floor after all. So we've got 3 columns, which the deers are going up and down. We also have a locked door down here and to the left. And how do I know it's locked? Because it has symbols on it. Oh boy! It's the crawler. Everyone's favorite. Said no one ever. I'm expert. These things are disaster incarnate. You can actually run into these in the tutorial section if you're so unlucky as to find one. They are powerhouses, and I may want to consider not just going all out offense, but I am going to like double more. I'm going to try to make it go to sleep twice, basically. So we're going to try Hypno. I know it's probably susceptible to poison, but I can't be sure. So I'm just going to slam everything at it, and we're going to see if that works or not. Right? Okay, cool. So we're going to try sleep. That works. Okay, so we get a free turn. That's what's important. Mirage Bite also did more damage. Stunned it, like, we did the whole 9 yards, and it's still not even close to dead. And now we just have to do a different element. So this time, we'll try Mirage plus... And yes, I am spending quite a lot of resources just on this one enemy, because I fear it a lot. We didn't blind it, and it died. Okay, cool. Good. As it should be. Alright, and that's our first experience with the Crawler. The Crawler is otherwise a dangerous enemy that we should not be trying to face. So these doors require keys to enter. Here's power, try to open. No, it needs a key. So it has a strange symbol on it, needs a key. All the locked doors I think are connected to the same key, so you can just use the locked door symbol, which is this one here that I've used, and you should be just fine. Alright, let's wait for the Fury Horns to be on their way. Alright, the easiest way to get through this puzzle is simply to follow the second group up the middle, and you will have absolutely no problems running into the other ones. It's fairly difficult to go up the other columns because of how the FOEs move, but even then it should be possible. Just quickly connect all the passageways. Alright. First we're gonna go up here because this leads to a dead end. Should lead to an event concerning... Well, not an event concerning anything, it's just gonna lead to a box. I love boxes, by the way. Boxes are great. Inside this box we have a free Ariadne thread, so they're gonna give you a freebie. It's really nice. Really nice of them. They give you an out. Okay, we've seen this set before. See you guys in a second. Alright, I made a grievous error in the auto attack there, so we got a dead guy. So, we got our first death. Yeah, that happens sometimes. We did get a nectar though, didn't we? Yep. Should I use it now? It's fine. Just make our way quickly across. The foes don't have enough time to reach me, and they're not even going in the right direction, so... all we have to do is to continue on is go this way. Now there's going to be two ways going on here. We can go straight or we can go south. We're going to go straight, as this continues to lead on to more stuff. Things that we want. We get an event here. I believe a beneficial one at that. Small tree here growing with many vibrant fruits. Yes, eat the fruits. This should be a TP restore. It is. It's the exact same as the spring, a 35 HP 10 TP restore that you can visit every day. First floor has 20 TP restore total on it. Meaning if you just need a small TP restore, you can go to the first floor instead of the inn and recover it. It's actually fairly nice for certain expeditions I like to undertake later, but for now, it's just really handy in the middle of the exploration to make sure I don't have to go back to the inn abruptly. Which I almost had to do earlier, but less on that, and more on that if you're astute. This set again! That's all there is to that. Make our way down into the left. We did have a character death earlier on in this episode. It was when I finished the mole fight that was up in the northwest corner. I was actually debating in my head whether I should even talk about it, but really it is important because you're going to see Gandra behind on experience as we continue forward just because of her death. I did use the nectar we had obtained at the beginning of the second episode in order to cure it though, so everything's fine. Simple set, mole hedgehog. Point all your slash and not stab attacks at the hedgehog first, that way you have an easy out. Alright, you can press R for reference, and if you want to learn what an enemy is susceptible to, you do this. So, learning that this is susceptible to blind is really nice, and knowing that this is susceptible to paralysis is really nice. So, for instance, now that I know this knowledge, I can cater my attacks to that knowledge. So, we can use nerve here, and then blind over there, and that should, in theory, work out. Smash that with our stick, and let's see if that applies. Blind there, works. Nerve there, it works. Typically, if you point the ailment at it that it says it's weak to, it works. There's sometimes just the chance that paralysis and blind don't work though, and they hit through it. That will become... that's just an issue. It's not like paralysis only works 50% of the... it might even be less than 50% of the time. I don't really know how often paralysis procs and stops an enemy from moving. I'm fairly sure it should be 50 or 25% of the time, much like in Pokemon. We got a take point. One of two on the floor. We found another one on the other side. This one likes to drop a bunch of rye. The other one likes to drop, I think, also a bunch of rye. Might have been citrus. Not entirely sure it matters. Blindside. Alright, so blindsides are pretty bad, and this is why. The enemies get an attack before you do. Now, in a double mole plus snail set, this is probably not the worst thing that could happen. Let's just say it could be a lot worse. So, going to remedy this. As such, we're going to try being, like, we're going to take them out one at a time, but I have to, like, do some damage sustain in order for us to get out of this without losing anybody. Alright, that's one mole taken care of. Teto's not dead, hallelujah. Gandra's also not dead, hallelujah. So now we're going to focus on this one. using the same combination of skills and attacks. And we should get out of it just fine. And of course, I kept this one in purely because of said blindside, but it's very important to know how to act in such cases, because you're used to kind of taking damage if you have full health all the time, and once that doesn't become the case, it can be kind of frightening. So keep your head about you. If you think you can do damage control, do it. So that's basically a case of damage control. The enemies got to a point where I had to heal off the damage and slowly kill them instead of trying to kill them as quickly as possible. It's not a very frequent position I'm going to be in, especially later on as we get some... later on, we're going to focus a little bit on skills that prevent us from getting blindsided. And it's fairly important that you do so, because sometimes blindsides just have the tendency of, well, wiping you out. It's not really any fun. When you go through a shortcut on this game, the game will hopefully highlight the arrow yellow to tell you that you have activated it. We're going to go over here and do the same over here. And then we're going to go through the stairs to the top, and this is as far as I wanted to go today, so... How long have I been at this? Yeah, that's a pretty good... Once again, we're making pretty good time in these early episodes, and I'm pretty proud of it. Usually when activating the floor jump, it will automatically take you to the next floor, not in this case. Oh, there should be some quests. We should be able to go to the bar and get some quests done, so I guess we can do that. Alright, let's go over to the Stickleback bar, see what's up. This is Cass.
Seen you before. Suppose you're an explorer. Come to see the labyrinth.
Cass has some of my favorite VAing in the game.
So you see,
Click on the quest, get as many as you accept the quest, do all the quests. Yes, do all the quests, and try to do them on every floor. I'm actually really good about doing EO2U quests on time. Unlike other games where I eventually kind of either burn out and then do them in bulk later, EO2U is one that manages to grasp my attention. It's mostly just EO1 and EOU1 that I have trouble with. So you could probably do all of these. Alright, let's start taking these up. Yeah, you put item or equipment on it and people flock to it. He wants us to go over to the trading and see. And because he didn't get... Cass is being dumb. Because he didn't get the things, we have to figure out what things she needs. So, that's all there is to it. Pure mineral water. She wants us to go get us some water. Sure, we can do that. This one's from the restaurant down the way. Man, powerful need of rock water. Racing stuff. You only find it in the labyrinth, so you have to go retrieve it. It's not too far in. Pretty easy beginner quest. And then there's the Leathersmith's request. Wants 3 pins. Comes from a local craftsman. He's been in Lagaard for a few days. Kind of a loon. Does damn good work. Fella hands leather. Needs needles. Go get them. Off hedgehogs. Needs 3 rat needles. I don't have 3 rat needles with me, so shucks. Let's go see what Abigail needs.
Welcome.
Yes, it is. Okay. That's very busy, so we need the materials. So needs 3 carapace pieces and 2 small nails. So that means I need to find another crawler. I probably already turned in the carapace pieces. So let's go over here and sell everything. Alright, I'm over here in the beginner area. The first quest wants us to come here in order to get the rock water that's available. And the game is even going to say, hey man, you remember that thing you picked up? And come over here, we pick it up, and we're good. So that's the easier of the quest. Now we need to... Okay. These hedge... I always forget their resistance to pierce makes them highly resilient and not as easy to kill. So we got one of the 3 rad needles we needed. Just 2 more to go. Okay, that's the second one. We also have everyone to 4, so I guess I'll go ahead and do some level allocations. This is actually a tornado, hopefully a Wii skill. Make eyes level 2, staff mastery to 3, CP up to 5, and risk perception to 1. Unlocks ally, we're not going to be touching it. We need risk perception to avoid surprise attacks. It's a fairly useful passive to have. Alright, so we got our first level in risk perception, so blindsides may now stop being an issue, but of course I need to level up risk perception more to make sure it works more often. Blindsides are just unfortunate in general, and trying to avoid them if at all possible is really good. That worked out. Alright, there's our third rat needle. Alright, so that's the second quest down. Now all we need to do is find a friggin' bug. Okay, here's a crawler. Spawns in the back, which is problematic, of course. Alright, we're not going to sweat that too much, I don't think. In fact, I might be even willing to keep it back there for just a little bit, to take advantage of how he works, and send a drop shot back there. The drop shot is a skill that gets more powerful with the enemies in the back line, which is pretty nice in this case, because it allows me to do 70 free damage to the crawler before he becomes an issue. Alright. Which is substantial, but not a lot. Alright. Now I have to take sweet care. Try to put it to sleep while it's back there. And while we're working on it up here. Good. That should buy me some time. Glad I did that, otherwise Gander would have been toast. I do get a free turn, it looks like, to wail on him. That's pretty good, by the way. Having free turns to wail on stuff is always nice. Let's see how much free damage I can get in. Before I did a free 40. We did set up the warrior song, so it's a little bit expected. Small nail, small nail. Okay, we got the stuff we needed. So that should be everything. Let's go ahead and just use one of those Ariadne threads we got and get out of here. No need to do anything more roundabouty. Let's go to the Stickleback bar and let's turn these in.
Take a seat. What do you got for me? Not bad.
Turn this first one in. It's going to give us 2 analysis scopes, which allows us to view enemy details before we defeat them.
Here it is.
Fairly simple item reward out of this. Very easy set of 500 experience. Do you recommend?
Not bad.
Headsmith request. Trades 3 rat needles that are in your inventory for 3 nectars. Nectars are way better than rat needles, as it turns out. Do this quest 100% of the time. Nectars are a valuable resource, and once you're able to get them yourself, you'll know why. Alright, and the last one I need to remember to sell stuff to get, so let's just stop by City Trading, sell off the nail and the carapace pieces.
Of course. I'll take those. We had some new things come in.
Access to a new katana, a new spear, new shield, which is what we're looking for, and a Therapy. Therapy's are nice too. Yay! We've got it!
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Then we stop right back over, and we turn this in. Report. Turn that in. And for these quests where you're trying to collect items to get an item, you usually get the item for free. Which is great, because I only have 1 shield user, so... Easy targe. Easy. Should be an easy 10 defense? 7 defense? It might just be 7 defense, which isn't a lot. But it is an upgrade, and we do take that. Alright, so that should be everything for the day. We cleared out the first floor, and we got acquainted with the quest system. So hey there everyone, this has been Labyrinth as always, and thank you for watching. Next time we'll begin exploration of the second floor. I'll see you guys then, bye.